One of the primary indicators of success in an e-learning environment is student engagement and motivation. This premise, according to Kasparova's research in the field, is even more pertinent in an e-learning situation than in traditional classroom settings. Kasparova found teachers of e-learning classes often used the same pedagogy, just in an online environment, which leaves students feeling isolated. Kasparova studied a sociology course with a blended design where students attend in-person lectures while also completing online components of the course. One assignment required students to work collaboratively in the online environment. The study found students had little understanding of how to work collaboratively online, which resulted in a low incidence of student communication throughout the project. However, when comparing the results over time, the collaboration increased from 2008, when the course was introduced, to 2012, when the study was conducted. A side effect of the increased communication was a high incidence of student engagement and content comprehension. Kasparova recommended organizational components be added to the face-to-face seminars so students better understand how to use the online communication tools provided to them. With the increase in e-learning environments worldwide, it is more important than ever to study the role student engagement plays in e-learning and to integrate high-interest activities and instruction techniques in the e-learning platform. This is especially important in districts such as mine that are offering more e-learning courses. Teachers of traditional face-to-face courses are also now using the learning management system available to students and teachers in order to create a more blended environment. Whether the course layout is blended or completely online, student engagement is at the forefront of the teacher's pedagogy decisions. Let's start by discussing the history of student engagement. Student engagement was a topic of interest as far back as ancient Greece, where philosophers used a student-centered approach in their teaching. In the late 19th century, John Dewey and Carl Rogers indicated student control of the learning environment increased engagement. In the 1970s, flexible open-walled classrooms were implemented in an effort to create a more learner-centered environment. In the 1990s, the constructivist theory of education became popular. This theory posited that if the relevancy of the information being taught was highlighted, student engagement would increase. In 1993, Vernon and Blake found problem-based learning, PBL, in which students are presented with a realistic problem and they must find solutions, is superior to traditional methods in eliciting student engagement. While the educational field was obviously embracing the idea of student-centered learning as a way of increasing student engagement and thus student achievement, the field of e-learning was just taking off. In 1995, the first HTML-based e-learning courses were created. In 1997, LAVE indicated learning should be a social process in order to increase student engagement. In 1998, Mayer and Moreno conducted groundbreaking research in regards to multimedia presentations. They found a split attention audio effect. Essentially, they found words should be heard and images should be seen. They found student engagement increases when multimedia presentations use partial text for headings and other important information, but primarily present text information through audio. In 2002, McConnell conducted studies to validate the use of the web and collaborative learning to build student participation in e-learning courses. Also in 2002, McLaughlin and Luca recommended problem-based learning in e-learning courses. Student-centered pedagogy took ever greater importance as a means for increasing student engagement. In 2007, software was developed to support deaf learners using integrated lecture capture with speech recognition to provide live subtitles. In 2010, this technology began being used in higher education for the general population, as it was realized that lecture capture increased student engagement and achievement. In 2011, McNaught found clarity and relevance of resources promote active learning and student engagement in e-learning. In 2015, Blackburn conducted a case analysis of scenario-based learning, interactive, an e-learning method that combines problem-based learning, relevancy, and constructivist theory. SBLI encourages student-centered learning rather than teacher-directed. Students are presented with real-world problems they must solve. One case study was a veterinary program where students in their final year were presented with a virtual animal they must conduct diagnostic tests on to determine the ailment and course of treatment they recommend. SBLI is one of the many advances in e-learning to increase student engagement. Now that we've explored the background of student engagement, let's take a look at current practice in regards to student engagement in e-learning. First and foremost, current best practice to achieve student engagement in e-learning is to make the information relevant. If information is not relevant, the learner will not see the value in the educational experience. Another best practice to adhere to when trying to increase student engagement online is to include information in multiple formats. By keeping the information delivery fresh, learners will be more likely to maintain a high level of engagement in the material. E-learners also need immediate feedback regarding their progress in the course. Since they do not have the benefit of face-to-face interactions for clarification, they need feedback that is timely so they can continue to grow academically in the online learning environment. There are several methods of feedback, including showing appreciation for the student's work, sayback, which is when the instructor restates what the learner stated, thus demonstrating to the learner that the information they submitted has been read and considered, and providing links to further information for the student. Other methods of feedback include asking questions about what the student submitted, providing guidance to the student, connecting students with similar academic interests with each other so they can work collaboratively, and providing encouragement. Cognitive load is currently a hot topic in student engagement. Instructional design is imperative to ensure students are not overloaded, thus reducing the rate of retention of information. Strategies for balancing cognitive load include chunking information, clarifying what information is need to know versus nice to know, information priming so students can retrieve previously learned information on the topic, and using the top 5 approach where students evaluate what the top 5 things they need to know about a topic are. Student engagement can also increase when course design is considered, making the course easy to navigate by organizing modules in a clear way and providing aesthetically pleasing design elements provides the best possible environment for students to learn online. Let's now take a look at future trends in student engagement. In the future, students will act as partners in the online learning environment. Kelly Matthews posits engaging students and academics in conversations around curricular decisions and questions of learning invites students behind the scenes of higher education and increases student engagement. Further, Matthews insists if we can reasonably expect to deliver on claims of graduating problem-solving, enterprising, capable, and thoughtful citizens of the world, then our approach to engaging students has to be predicated on valuing students as capable collaborative partners in their own learning. Virtual reality is another method that will be increasingly integrated into e-learning. Virtual reality and augmented reality experiences breathe life into all topics and subjects, taking students to new, undiscovered worlds. Virtual reality can create real-world experiences in a virtual environment for students, not just creating engagement, but also providing applicable real-world experiences for students. Gamification is a third method that will increase student engagement in the e-learning environment. Gamification is already starting to be implemented in classrooms, but it has yet to hit its zenith. Video games are addictive and engaging, so it's no surprise adding games to e-learning courses increases engagement. As an added bonus, gamification can also increase collaboration and cooperation amongst students. It is clear student engagement is key to the success of students in e-learning environments in the past, present, and future. It is of primary importance for teachers to focus on creating an interactive and collaborative environment in order to increase student engagement and, ultimately, success in the course.